Okay, so I think we can we might even just finish this mix in this video because these three, I think the most I spent time with was on the vocals. Um, but then everything else, bass and piano and these keys, I got sent really good quality stems. Again, this bass. This is an old bass that was recorded as in like a 60s or 70s Gibson bass with old round wound strings, so like it's no definition whatsoever. But that was the point. I wanted a bass that had like a lot of that kind of old sound and like sat really well in the mix, but did not take a particular leading role because I just wanted to just give us a really solid foundation. And then piano, I felt the song needed a piano, and like I mentioned, I had my my good friend Brandon make this for me. He's an amazing producer and musician, so that definitely really appreciate that. So let's see what we got going on bass. Let's see it in context, and then let's see what's going on. Before I continue, watch this with headphones. If you do not have a good pair of studio monitors, if you're watching this on your phone, this video will be useless to you for half of it. So watch with headphones, even if they're not great, but you're not gonna hear your a bass with sub frequencies on this thing. So watch with headphones, please. Just like no definition on the bass whatsoever. But that was the point. So I'm pretty happy with this bass sound. I'm guilty of not spending probably enough time on my bass. I love bass. I play bass. Please don't come at me, bassists. But I think it's an instrument where it is fundamental for the song, and it is, in fact, a platform where everyone else stands. But I think I can be a little utilitarian with my bass. I like to have a really good sound, but something like this, I do not think it needs a leading role, because we already have the guitars here. They're doing a lot. We have the drums are they're not a leading role, but they're doing some pretty cool stuff. So, and obviously the focus is the voice. But I did want this bass to be nice and expressive, and Brandon definitely delivered on that front. And I just kind of tweaked it to make it sound a little bit tighter, fix a little bit of the playing in the sense of making sure everything is nice and consistent. Bass is one of those things where you want it to be very consistent. So let's take a look at what I did here. Ran it through the filk channel, because of course I did. And yeah, I just left the saturation on 100%. This one had a little bit more saturation than normal, just because, again, this bass didn't have any definition. So we want to start getting a little bit of that definition out of it. So it's not just a blob of bass frequencies going in there. So we're being pretty aggressive with this bass in terms of the compression. Giving it a nice bit of saturation. So that's how the bass is sounding with the filk channel. We got an 1176 style compressor. This is from Analog Obsession. Love these guys. They make super high quality plugins, and again, free. You can't beat free. additional compression here. Since it's hitting so hard on this one, I'm not hitting it super hard here. This is just to give a bit more attitude of that 1176 dot compression. And then we have a little plugin I've been checking out recently from Boost Q. This is like a kind of analog console type thing. I think this is a lot of these are probably default settings that I just kind of started tweaking around just a little bit. I bumped up the age to almost 100, gave it a console feel. I don't know what console that's emulating, but I just wanted to give it kind of like that old school. Since it's an old bass, it is physically old. It only made sense to give it like that kind of old vibe to it, and it's definitely a vibe. So let's listen to him in context, because bass is something that's you never want to hear bass alone unless you're looking for something specific, because again, it's so fundamental to the rest of the mix that you don't want to listen to it alone. So what I'm going to do to get a little bit more volume out of this bass, I'm going to run it through this overdrive, also from Analog Obsession, and this is going to allow me to tame a little bit the volume, keep it it's acting almost like a limiter. I'm just giving it just a touch of drive. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit. And this is going to allow me to get a little bit more volume out of my bass. See how these peaks will be nice and consistent now versus... So we're essentially putting a limiter on that. And then at the end, you guessed it, we're going with Heatwave. Big shocker. So that's where the bass is. Let's leave it at that. I might touch it up a little bit later, but let's see piano. Piano is a very simple instrument to get EQ'd. For a song like this, it's a very poppy kind of folk, acoustic, rock, pop thing. Genres don't matter. Everything is a lie. Just do what you want. But piano, I find, is not a difficult instrument to EQ. Not in my opinion. If you get a very good stem or sample, if you're using a MIDI, because a lot of them I find to be very yucky sounding. So I find a lot of stems or a lot of piano recordings to be just this jangly mess of just all high and mid, and then for some reason they always cut all the lows, even though like it's a grand piano. So I, in this case, did two little cuts here. This is just to make space for the bass, because the piano is very much a background instrument here. I do not want people to very much notice this piano a lot. Just when the rest of the music dies down, this piano comes up, and that's it. I don't want them to hear this piano too much throughout the song, because it is very much just there to fill out space. And then pianos, I always give a boost on these kind of higher frequencies. Give it a bit of a nice wide band there to really accentuate those keys. This is an upright piano, so it's going to be a little bit darker. It's not going to be a grand. So I did want to bump it up a little bit, give it a little bit of that brightness. This is what it sounded raw. Ran it through the 1176 compressor. Just 1 or 2 dBs of gain reduction, being pretty gentle here. Running it through the Piano Legend console, and I feel like this is where this piano really was giving me exactly what I needed with this boost cue. Not bad. Sounds good. It just sounds so good. This is just going through the preamps, the compression, equalizer, all that. I just use this preset. If someone tells you that you can't use presets, call them a liar. You can use presets. They're okay to use. If it sounds good, it is good. So this honestly was giving me exactly what I needed. It sounds big. It sounds beautiful. It makes you want to cry. It just needed some reverb. I just went with chroma verb to just like wash it out a little bit. Because again, I do not want this to be super present in the mix. This sounds so good. I just drop it a tad bit there. So you can see when the rest of the mix comes in, he pretty much disappears, and then when the mix is soft, like that's when I want that piano to come in. So that's it. That's all the piano was doing here. Again, shout out to Brandon. He recorded this bass and this piano. They sound amazing. They sound really good. He has a really nice upright piano. I do not know the microphones he used, but I think I mentioned in the last video that he has a couple. He's big on the UAD mics. I think he has like an AKG as well. The C14 maybe. I'm not sure. So this sounds really good. When it came to deciding where to put it in the mix, I'm a little bit torn that it's on the bottom, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not a piano ballad. So I figure when the mix is nice and loud, it'll be nice in the background. It'll just be filling out that space, and then once everything comes down, it can come in with those little embellishments, and that's really what the song needed at the end of the day. Let's finish out with these keys. This is not super complex. These are just some pads that are coming in, pretty much doing almost nothing. They're super low. They're like barely there. I can probably, yeah, you can barely hear this. So let's give it some extra oomph here. let's hit it with the 1176. Let's see, it's so ridiculously low. Something like a pad, you don't want it to be crazy present. This is just kind of setting a mood. This is using the Keylabs plugin. So it's mainly to fill out these first sections. But yeah, there's pretty much nothing going on. There's not a whole lot going on here. This is super low. This one's a little bit higher. And just like that, it's gone. Right? So something like that, you don't want it to take a whole lot of space in the mix. You know, unless that's what you want. But obviously, in this particular mix, I don't think it would have been very wise to just have these pads super present in your head the entire time. That drone can get a little annoying. So it's very much, you know, keep it subtle. When it comes to these pad sounds, you always want to keep it very subtle. You don't want to overdo it too much. You just want it to have that in the initial part. Oh my god, it's definitely late. You definitely want to have those like present because there's nothing else other than just that shaker and the guitar and the voice. But then once that rest of the mix comes in, you want those to pretty much disappear. They're still there. They're still giving a little bit, filling out the mix a little bit, but it's not crazy. This is not, you know, gonna be something that people really notice too much. Same as with before, if you mute it, you can tell that it's not there. It definitely sounds a little empty. Once the rest of the mix is, can't really tell it's on. And that's the point. You don't want it super present. You know, we're talking about this is barely peaking minus 20 something. You know, you at least for this mix, it just didn't make sense to have it super high. Let's check the end. Yeah, I think these kind of trail off midway through the song. These just kind of stop. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the keys. Super simple. This particular track did not require a lot of intricate keys work. I did these myself with the Labs plugin, also free. I do not remember who makes them. Labs. I don't remember. It's Labs, but I don't remember who the plugin developer is. I'll maybe put it in the description or something. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Let's listen to the song a little bit, and then we'll move on to the vocals for next time. These vocals are still being worked on. This is like a first pass. So when you listen to the song, this is not going to necessarily be the take. This is actually going to be, this one, you know, is a little choppy in some places, but that's just because we've not yet finished that. I believe we're going to do that this weekend. So maybe by the time that I get around to recording the other video, I might have the other voice. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's listen to the song. A little preview there. This is honestly sounding really good already. So yeah, I think we're gonna end it on that note. As usual, thank you so much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. Um, be sure to follow me on the socials, on the YouTubes and Instagrams and the Facebooks and things of the sort. All that's in the doobly doo below, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next time where we're gonna cover the vocals, and we might even put in what I'm doing a little bit on the mastering here, and what I'm doing. A little bit of a preview for you. It's AI generated. No, but I am using Ozone 11. But yeah, let's leave it there, and we'll see you next time. Bye.